Hello everybody and welcome to the TISO Superpole race for the 2026 World Superbike Championship. We're all set then for what's going to be a very entertaining race. Superpole coming up shortly with the race 1 before race 2 gets underway. But just taking a look already at the way the championship is standing, what an opening race it was for Nicolo Bulliger. He took pole position alongside then Jari Montella and Lorenzo Baldassari. That was the top three. The grid coming into today's race puts Nicolo Bulliger on pole from Jari Montella and Sam Lowes on the front row. Then it's Alex Lowes, Axel Bassani alongside Daniel Petrucci. Row 3s is Lorenzo Baldassari, Gart Gerloff and Chadwick Vierge starting in P9. And then we get row 4 with Alberto Sura, Taut McKenzie and Everard Bautista. Row 5, Heikki Lukano, Remy Gardner and Andrea Locatelli. Row 6 brings in then with Ryan Vickers, Tajuka Nakashima and Stefano Manzi. Row 7, Bahattin Tofagulu, Matteo Ratio, Miguel Oliveira once again standing in the back after a poor qualifying, but he did get back up yesterday in race 1. No doubt he can do the same again today. Well, hello everybody, welcome to a slightly overcast Phillip Island here as we get ready for the TISO Superpole. Still questioning what tyres we're going to put on. There's not a lot of chance of rain out there at the moment, which is good news, but we are expecting a very fast, action-packed race. If you've just joined us from the NASCAR O'Reilly series, what a difference you've got. You've got the close racing there to the close racing here. Yesterday's race 1 was absolutely dramatic and wheel-to-wheel stuff. We're expecting this race to be similar, especially also considering that Nicolo Bulliger, yes, he dominated, but didn't dominate the warm-up session. Now, there was no TV picture, so sadly I couldn't commentate on that session. The wonderful World Feed took you through it, and it was Sam Lowes who was fastest on that front. Got 7 minutes and 47 seconds until the formation lap officially goes out, and there you can see, if you're watching along with us, is your pole sitter. Let's head down there to TNT for the pre-race stuff and join James Toseland alongside Greg Haynes.
Miles ahead of the rest of the field for the last 2 seasons after he came in as the Supersport World Champion of 2023. But a bit of a strange situation with these crash helmets. What's going on?
Yeah, there's been a new homologation from the FIM for the specification for the helmets, and there's been a couple of manufacturers of helmets, manufacturers that have just got caught out that don't meet that, and that's why a few of the riders have just gone for a plain black, because it's actually a different make that they're wearing compared to the ones that they're contracted to. So they're trying to keep it as discreet as possible. It seems like they've one's gone ahead of the other before the other one had heads up, obviously, literally heads up.
I was going to say, yeah, no pun intended.
So that's the reason for it. We'll not name them, obviously, in respect, but there's a few that's got caught out, shall we say. Sam's got a good chance here. He was the quickest in warm-up, Greg. This is going to be this is really optimistic. Now, he had a really big crash on Friday to turn 1. And to be honest, if you crash at turn 1 here at Phillip Island, you're lucky to be on the grid because it's, like I was saying, 200 miles an hour down the Gardner Straight, at least 170 mile an hour turning in 4th gear into that doing corner, and he lost the front there and lost the rear. So very fortunate to get away with it. But like I say, he was flying this morning.
Sam was indeed, as you say, fastest this morning. The only incident, it wasn't an accident, but an incident, was Jari Montella, who was on the podium yesterday for the first time ever. He went off into the gravel after he ran wide at turn 1, but no real harm done.
Cool
it
shades.
was a cool shades for Alex Lowes. I tell you what, though, it was an appalling warm-up, I thought, for Nicolo Bulliger. He was second. He was as low as second, and he was a whole 0.003 of a second down on Sam Lowes. First time Bulliger's been anywhere but P1 all week so far. But like you say, cool shades for Alex Lowes. This is Jari Montella, and James, like his fellow countryman Lorenzo Baldassari, a maiden rostrum yesterday for Jari, the affable Italian, in what was his 37th World Superbike race.
We moved on quickly there, but we were being sarcastic about Nicolo Bulliger, obviously. Of course. It's only because he's been quickest absolutely everywhere he's gone to in the 2020-26 season. In pre-season testing and here in Phillip Island, is absolutely untouchable around this circuit. He was last year. He got the full house last year. Is it going to be a full house again? But the two motor riders that you've just seen on your screen, Alex Lowes and now this man here, Axel Bassani, they have been absolutely flying. Whatever Bimota's done this winter, it has worked, and they are really on for 2 strong results here in the Superpole race and race 2 later on today.
And perhaps BMotor's top rider so far, no disrespect at all to Axel or to Alex, is actually their test and development rider Xavi Forés, who did by far the most laps of anybody in the World Superbike paddock across pre-season testing. Of course, he doesn't have the limit of 10 days of testing allowed as do the race riders, with the exception of Yamaha and Honda. They do have 16 days this season because of the concession rules based on their lowly positions in the Constructors, the Manufacturers' Championship last season. But well done to Xavi Forés, a major input for him for BMotor over the winter.
Yeah, compliments. That is Daniel Petrucci, had a top 10 result, but he slipped back a couple of places when his teammate caught him. Absolutely chilling out there, the Aussie fan. If there ever was an honest Aussie fan you thought they would look like, and it's that fella there. He was definitely, he's been here a while, that lad, and that's Miguel Oliveira getting a hug from his team on the back of the grid, obviously from the crash in his qualifying yesterday. And like Greg says, can he get inside the top 9 and then start on the first 3 rows here for race 2 later on? He got in the top 9 yesterday, but don't forget, there's only half the laps to do it in this one, so he's going to have to get very, very lucky in the opening laps of this one.
Yes, a fully qualified dentist, of course, Miguel Oliveira, as well as a professional motorcycle racer. So what can he extract from the upcoming race, James? Here's Lorenzo Baldassarri. I've been playing that all morning. Get his teeth stuck into it. I see what you did there. There's a few more there, I'm sure. But here's Lorenzo Baldassarri. Start 7th. It's actually easy to forget that he's... Oh, and this doesn't look good.
Oh, no,
Xavi Vierge. Now, he had a big incident yesterday, and this must be a legacy of that crash. Now, we don't know for sure. It's partly speculation, but we do know for sure that his tyre was off the rim. We've watched the replay back, haven't we?
Lucky
together
boy.
And individually. Coming out of Stoner's corner, James, an enormous crash, and it was such a shame because he's been the top Yamaha rider all week here.
Lucky boy, Xavi Vierge. You don't crash at Stoner's too often and get away with it, but he did get away with it, fortunately. He was lucky that the bike and him didn't go into the oncoming traffic at Miller's corner as well, because he was travelling so fast, which you do. It's a 5th gear corner, Stoners, turn 3 I'm talking about. And you don't high side through there. You just don't. It's not something that you do. And when I saw the bike tumbling just as before it got to the grass, there was no rear tyre on that rim. We are running full race distance here for the first time in a few years with Pirelli. And did Yamaha just get a little bit unlucky? And with less than 5 laps to go, I think it delaminated on Xavi Vierge, and it wasn't able to finish the race. So fingers crossed that won't happen. It's not going to happen here in the Superpole race, obviously on the 10 laps, but hopefully fingers crossed in the full race distance later on today. But it might even be wet, Greg, so it could all change.
Yeah, certainly tyres and tyre pressures are being very much talked about, so it's certainly something to bear in mind. We saw Garrett Gerloff a moment ago. They've got wings on that Kawasaki. He's also hoping it revs quicker. He wants more bottom-end power and various other things to refine that bike, and they might even be able to update the size of the wings. That was Surra, Alberto Surra.
Yeah, 9th place yesterday. What a result. His team were absolutely ecstatic. Well, it was ecstatic from one side of a Ducati garage, and not so much on this side of a Ducati garage. Alvaro Bautista just clipped the gear lever, it seemed, in turn 11, which just lifted the front, and down the double world champion went. And not a great start to his 2026 campaign. But here's the front row, Greg.
Yeah, Bautista, incidentally, sadly, was our first retirement of this 2026 campaign. Nil point for him. Now, remember, only 9 riders score in this one, not the usual 15. And as we've said already, the top 9 will start in those positions for race 2 later on this afternoon. Nicolo Buliga, then, if he wins this one, it would be 12 points and another win at Phillip Island. The weather is okay for now.
Welcome to Phillip Island as we get ready for the Superpole race to begin here. You're live on JB Motorsports for all of the action. Well, what are we going to have in today's race? That is the big question. There's your starting grid. Nicolo Buliga, Yanni Montella, Sam Lowes on the front row. Then it's Alex Lowes, Axel Bassani, Daniel Petrucci, Lorenzo Salvadori, Garrett Gerloff, Xavi Vierge, Alberto Surra, Tam McKenzie, Averil Bautista, Ika Lukanoa. Going in there with Remy Gardner, Andrea Locatelli, Ryan Vickers, Tajuka Nakashima, Stefano Manzi, Bahatin Sofagulu, Matteo Rattio, alongside Miguel Oliveira right at the back of the field. Conditions are fair. I think that's the best way you can describe them at the moment as well. We've had a bit of moisture surrounding the circuit. Chances of rain are a bit higher coming into the race 2 in a couple of hours' time. But it's so far so good, I would say. That's the sort of atmosphere we have to build upon and take, that we're going to be in for a good one. It's just 10 laps in total. It's going to be quite a fast flowing event as we come down in towards the long lap loop at turn 4, the Miller hairpin. 26 degrees is the air temperature. Track temperature 80 at Fahrenheit, 8 mile per hour in the wind. Would love to give you that in Celsius, but it's not converting for me at the moment as this warm-up lap begins. I'm Joshua Birch. Alongside us is the World Feed commentary team. We're going to have, along with Greg Haynes and James Tosland. This is going to be quite a battle. Yesterday, Buildup managed to pull out a significant gap as he won the race. It was Montella in second and Baltasaari claiming his first ever podium in his return to the Superbikes. He did that in 36 starts. Today, it's his 37th. And for Nicolo Buildup, 21st career win, 57th podium to go alongside his 10th pole position. They come out then of turn 12. The red flag is at the front and ready to head down from the Gardner Straight down towards turn number 1. Buildup leads on 25 points. Montella is on 20. Baldassarri on 16. And that goes all the way down to 15th place. Are you ready? It's time for the Tissot Superpole race to begin for the World Superbike campaign of 2026, our second race of the season. Watch out for a great launch again from Nicolo Buildup. Green flag at the back, red lights are on. And we go sprinting down towards turn number 1. Great start this time coming up from the inside of Jari Montella. Buildup going to drop out wide. Sam and Alex Lowe's are going to try and go through as well. Hasn't worked out. Into the lead goes Jari Montella. There's a little bit of a run wide further back as well. Buildup gone out too wide. Through goes Alex Lowe's. Sam Lowe's goes through as well. Coming into turn 2 at the southern loop. So that was a surprise. Buildup gone back as well into about 4th position. Jari Montella leads as we come downhill in towards turn number 4. That was a critical manoeuvre. Now, who went back further back? It was Aiki Lukanoa, who was off track at turn 1. He lost out in a couple of places. Round turn 4 at Miller, up to turn 5 and then into turn 6. The long sweeping uphill left-hander at Siberia. 7 and 8 swaps back over each other as you try and go through. But it's a brilliant start. Jari Montella is the leader. Alex Lowe's is in second. Sam Lowe's third. Buildup down into 4th. And he's got Axel Bassani just behind him as they come over Lukey Heights, down into turn 10 at MG and trying to hold that inside line. Move further back as well. BMW's trying to have a little bit of a battle between each other. We'll see if that changes out. Daniel Petrucci was in there as well. So Petruk's running in 8th position, battling with Town McKenzie. But it is the race lead. Yeah, Bautista has moved ahead of Alberto Serra. Over the line we go, and Sam Lowe's getting a little bit out-seated as well. It's just giving him a little bit of rock and roll down to turn 1. That's going to allow Buildup to look on the inside line. Sam Lowe's is giving him absolutely no edge. Oh, and Lowe's nearly drops it. Sam had an ankle off of the foot peg there, but still manages to hold on. There's some bodywork flapping at the bottom of that bike. I wonder if that's going to give him a little bit of a trouble and effect, but Buildup doesn't get through. He's trying everything as they come though through turn number 3 to try and find an interest. The 97 is not allowed to join the race, so Chami Vierge will not start. Where's Oliveira? He's already up into 14th place. Stonking start once again from that BMW after a poor qualifying. So this already, the Superpole race is going to be exciting. Thank you, I should say, really, to Buildup. Bad start from him. Didn't get going into the first couple of corners. Lightning start from Jari Montella. The camera angle didn't give us the best view to pull back from, but Yeah, Bulliger just, it looked like he unset himself. No jump starts, say race control. That is a critical factor as they come down into turn 10 again from Lukey Heights into MG. From a downhill into a tight right, then sweeps it up, open into a double left at turn 11 into turn 12. Montella leading, Alex Lowe second, Sam Lowes is third, Nicolo Bulliger is in fourth place, down 3 places. Biggest winner again, Oliveira up 6 places from the start, and here comes Bulliger, pulls to the inside of Sam Lowes down the Garden Straight, and up the inside line coming in towards Duran, and coming up on the inside as well. This is going to be a brilliant move coming in from Axel Bassani, and Lowes, Sam Lowes gets taken 2 into 1, and it's not done yet because Bulliger's not going to get any traction coming out of turn 2. And this is absolutely brilliant for Axel Bassani. He's going to try and get the traction to take it all himself as they come out down towards turn 3 at Stoner. Then it's turn 4 at Miller. 8 to go, and already this is a fantastic race. Ducati leading, but can Alex Lowe's take victory here in Australia? Bulliger's on a charge back. He's just not, well, he's just making it easy for himself at the moment, isn't he? He's not going to hold this one at all away from him. He knows what the score is. He knows what the job is. Why make life harder? Why? Just let it go. Save your tyres, save the pace. It's a 10-lap sprint race. 12 points on the line, and he knows that that's going to be an interesting start. Let's check in. Hello to Tig, who says, that's not good for Via here. Terrible start 2026. Superpole race, let's go. I feel like Axel can get a podium in this race, or race 2. He was so close yesterday. Bulliger, terrible. I feel useless. Something happens not as well. And Nathan says, I love this place because it's not great. It's all of the great racing you call their places made us fall in love with auto racing all over again. Mainly here for NASCAR and IndyCar. Mate, honestly, Nathan, pleasure to have you. Hope you enjoy it as they come over the line once again. Right, this time, side by side, Bulliger made that look so easy. Inside down the Gardner Straight, on the right-hander at Doohan. He's got ahead now of Alex Lowe's, and Bulliger's already going to try and attempt the lead here. Hang on a minute, Axel Bassani's got through on Alex Lowe's. Bassani is using Bulliger as a fishing rod. He's throwing him out there, reeling him back in as soon as he gets through on any other rider. He's completely out of it. This is fantastic. So it does look like we could see a podium coming in now for Axel Bassani. Has Lowe's got back on the inside there? Can't quite tell from this camera angle if Lowe's is still ahead. Yes, he is. Alex Lowe's has repassed his teammate, Axel Bassani. So that's come off when we're on board with Bulliger. Bulliger's right behind Jared Montella. And he's going to have a great run coming out of Siberia up towards turn 8. Surely not a move coming into Lukey Heights at turn 9. Surely he's not thinking about it. Bulliger's not that insane, is he? Well, actually think about it, maybe he is. Trying to have a look at the top of the hill down towards MG. He's awfully close at Lukey Heights. Montella's going to know it. Bulliger's going down the inside at turn 10. And he forces Montella to lift up. Unbelievably dangerously done. Here comes Alex Lowe's. He's trying to come back round the outside, but he can't get the traction coming from Jared Montella. That big motor really is so much more powerful this season. And we've got drops of rain in sector 2 and 3. Drops of rain. The white flags have gone out. Now that's critical. The white flags are out. We might have a red flag to come into it now as well. So the white flags now mean that the riders can change tyres and they can come into the pit lane. White flags are out. So this is going to be a flag to flag. But is this going to be a red flag, depending on what the weather's like, as Alex and Sam go battling hard and hard? And this is where the Lincoln lads can really get into it, because they know mixed conditions. They know wet weather as they try and get used to it. They were born in Lincoln. They're quite high up on the roof there as well. So believe me, being 50 minutes away from them, they'll know it. And there we see Montella losing out to Axel Bassani, who takes second position on the inside line at turn 4 at the Miller hairpin. And you can see the raindrops now coming down as they come through Siberia. There are spots on the camera lens as they come through. So Bulliger's got the lead of the race. He's half a second ahead now. But are we going to see anybody coming in for some tyre changes? Are we going to see the possibility of a red flag? It's only now 6 to go. We're practically halfway. This is going to be a very interesting call. It looks dry, so I heard from James Tozand in my ear as he comes down in towards MG. Cautious, wild, battle. Still got the drops of rain. We're only going for 7 minutes. This Superpole race really doesn't stop that hard, does it? Sam Lowes now on board. A little twitch. Bassani is on the back of Bullaga down towards turn 1. Surely we're not going to see a little move change over there. Drops of rain now in all sectors. Sectors 1 to 3 we're now seeing. So that is big, big no. When it rains here at Phillip Island, it does come down quite heavily. That is Miguel Oliveira, who started at the back of the grid. He has made his way up into 10th place as Alex goes a bit wide. He's trying to get ahead of Yowie Montella. There was a little bit of a wide moment, but he's kept it in. Alex is right behind him as well. Bullaga has only got a 10th of a second now to Bassani. That was 5/10 of a second. Sam's trying to go on the inside, hasn't worked out. Alex comes out of nowhere, dives on the inside of his brother at turn 4 at Miller on the inside line, and he's now got through. So Alex Lowe's moves up into 4th position. Sam Lowe's down into 5th. Yowie Montella leads there. He's in 3rd place. Bassani 2nd. Bullaga leading the Italian 1, 2, 3. And now, because Alex Lowe's get anything on Yowie Montella as they come in towards Lukey Heights. Montella's wide, trying to find in a bit of the grip here as well. You've got to feel that Bullaga's backed off because he doesn't want to be the first to meet these conditions. There goes Alex Lowe's on the inside line. Lowe's makes the move on the inside of Yowie Montella down at MG at turn 10, and it's a superb move that keeps the door stick. Bassani is faster and faster and faster. Last time by, Bullaga did a 1:29.132, Bassani 1:29.341, but somehow the gap isn't increasing as what we thought it would do. Drops of rain now in sector 1. It's not fully raining yet. We've had the white flags out, but no red flags, as up the inside, Yowie Montella makes the move on the inside at turn 1. He gets through. Oh, and he's gone out wide. Sam Lowe's went out wide too. Gerloff's going to go around the outside of the pair of them. Gerloff's going wide, but that's allowed Alex Lowe's to keep 3rd position. Montella went out wide, and that brought Sam Lowe's out with him. Gerloff can't get through. Still drops of rain in the sectors, trying to find out as we come through. We're all riding, looking at Sam Lowe's on the inside line at turn 4. He's made the commitment early on. Montella knows he's there. Sam's going to go through. Front wheel very nearly touching the rear wheel as some drops of rain in Siberia. This race is absolutely electric. Got race 2 coming up later as well. That's a full 45-minute action race. This is not going to be anything but a dramatic mixed conditions. Just what we need in Phillip Island, just when the tyres were in a good position. Pirelli have done such a good job this year to give us a compound that can race over the full distance, but now they're showing exactly how good they are in mixed conditions. They're showing us how good the weather can be as we come through once more. There we see Sam Lowe's, yippee-ki-yay, you want to say on that bike. He's really buckarooing on that thing as he comes out now of turn 11 into turn 12. He's taking a wider line through, so he's keeping away from the painted curves, and he gets a much more straighter exit down the Gardiner Straight. He's pulling onto the back now. Bullaga leads by 6/10 of a second. But Axel Bassani lost 13 thousandths on that last lap time by, and now Miguel Oliveira is on the back of his teammate Daniele Petrucci, who's on the back of Lorenzo Baltasarii. Baltasaari's made a mistake. Petrucci's on the curb in the wet conditions. That's going to leave him vulnerable to his teammate. Ideally, he's lost positions. Oliveira's trying to go on the inside, and the front tyre of Miguel Oliveira is touching the knee of Daniele Petrucci coming through turn 2 at the southern loop. They've stabilised through Stoner. Can they stabilise it coming into Miller on the inside line? Petrax is going to go in deep. This will give the Oliveira an opportunity to slide back through. The rear sliding and really giving it some elbow. It's like dancing on Macarena out there right now. Raindrops still in the air, but this is exciting stuff. 3 to go here at Phillip Island in the Superpole race. Bullaga on for 2 out of 3. And so far, for my calculation, he will take it for more doubles in a row. Drops of rain still in sector 1. Bullaga leading through Lukey Heights. Drops down in towards MG. Oliveira trying to go on the outside. Petrucci still. Petrax is going too deep in the corners. It's like he can't get a braking zone on and can't find the right spot. So, yeah, no, even coming out of turn 11 into 12, Petrax is all over the place. He's not used to that BMW just yet. With Oliveira, he is. He's just come from MotoGP, which is used to handling a difficult machine from the Trackhouse squad. He's now on a World Championship winning BMW. He pulls to the inside of the Gardiner Straight and gets to on Petrax way before the entry into turn 1 at Dewan. Is that going to bring now with him the 95 of Tarrant McKenzie? McKenzie was looking strong there. What a cracking battle this is turning out to be. 2 laps to go here at Phillip Island in the Superpole race. Oliveira, in just 8 laps, has made up 11 places. Now imagine if we had this later on. You saw the drama he did earlier on as Mackenzie tried to go on the outside of Daniel Petrucci. Still can't find a way through there. And that's going to bring Heikki Lukanoa, who went wide on the opening lap at turn 1, back into the mix of things. Camera lens still dropping, still got, as you can see on the monitor, drops of rain in sector 1. That's what we're getting from race control. Still no rider tracker, but I tell you what, we don't need it in this race. It'll just be a load of dots strung together on the circuit. Bullaga has pulled out a 1.7 second lead as we take a look. Oh, Alex Lowes makes a mistake. The rear stepping out, coming down in towards MG at turn 10. Back on the power we go then. We're watching Sam Lowes still on the attack. He's trying to gain back from 5th place. Montella's in 4th, Alex in 3rd. As we cross that line, this will be the last lap of the race. Superpole already going to be completed. Montella is under attack this time. Here he goes. Montella, attack, attack, attack. Hold back, hold back, hold back. He can't get through on Alex this time by. Into the southern loop at turn 2. The long, sweeping left-hander. This is where the raindrops are. Petrux has got ahead of Lukanoa. Oliveira's down into 11th position. What's happened to Miguel? And Miguel's down to 12th. Miguel's down to 13th. Has he gone off the track somewhere? Sue and Mackenzie have gone through. And yeah, what's happened? Yeah, I think something. Look, Menzi and Locatelli now in a battle. Ryan Vickers in there. Gardner's dropping down. What's happened to Miguel Oliveira? He was running inside 10th position. Now he's dropped down to 13th place. We'll keep an eye on that. But here comes Alex Lowes. He's desperate to hold on to 3rd position for Jari Montella. Montella got his first podium yesterday. He wants to hold on to it. Bassani's going to get a podium. Alex Lowes is going to get a podium. It'll be his 51st podium in the World Superbikes. Nicolo Bullaga on course for his 22nd career win and his 2nd of the season, as he'll come out now of 11 and 12 and down the Gardner Straight. It has been an amazing Superpole race. We've sprinted into action and Sunday gets going in the best way possible. A good close race, but it has been dominated once again. The hand in the fist as the checker flag falls and Nicolo Bullaga wins the Superpole race. Bassani in 2nd, Alex Lowes in 3rd, gets a podium. Montella 4th, Sam Lowes 5th. Side by side over the line between Miguel Oliveira, and Oliveira has lost out at the line. He was side by side with Takeshi Nakashima. What happened to Oliveira to drop back to 18th place? That was a weird one to drop all the way back there. Podium confirmed. Bullaga wins for the 22nd time in an amazing race. That was exciting. Yeah, I think James Chosen is just saying in my ear that from the TNT feed, I wonder if it's fuel for Miguel Oliveira. That also could highly be possible. Wow, that was only 10 so minutes of action, but what a 10 minutes that was. I hope you'll join us for race 2 coming up later on. We had race 1 yesterday. That was Bullaga, Montella and Baldassari. Superpole race, Bullaga, Bassani, Lowes. That's Alex Lowes. Amazing. What a race. Podium results confirmed as well. Results in total confirmed. Nicolo Bullaga wins again. What a fantastic run. Right, let's head down to the TNT commentary team as the field comes in ready for the post-race ceremonies. We'll go through the results quickly here as well. Nicolo Bullaga victorious, Axel Bassani in 2nd, Alex Lowes is 3rd, Jari Montella 4th, Sam Lowes in 5th, Garrett Gerloff 6th, Avio Bautista in 7th, Lorenzo Baldassari in 8th, Heikki Lukanoa in 9th, and Daniel Petrucci in 10th place. Further down, we bring in Tao Mackenzie 11th, Alberto Sura in 12th, Stefano Menzi 13th, 14th, Andrea Locatelli, 15th, Ryan Vickers, 16th, Remy Gardner, 17th, Toshiki Nakashima, 18th for Miguel Oliveira, 19th, Bahatito Fagulu, 20th, Matteo Ratio, and Xavi Vierge was not allowed to take part in this race. So in the pits they come. It is race victory for Nicolo Bullaga. We'll hand down to TNT.
And there he is.
Look at that. absolutely ecstatic. They weren't really expecting these results from last year at all. I'm sure they weren't. So that's why you can see the emotion. But Nicolo Bulliger comes down victory lane once again. And it's victory number 2 for the young Italian. This Alex Lowe is saying hello to all the team as well.
And
he'll be super chuffed, won't he?
Marcel Dwinker in there as well, no longer a crew chief, but certainly still an instrumental member as a track engineer of that team. Well, from 2 races, we've had 5 different riders on the podium already at the start of 2026. I couldn't be happier for Bimotor, and in particular for Axel Bassani, because it's been a difficult time over the last few years, and Alex will be delighted for Axel as well. There's Corinne, Dave, Rocky Ryan, and the rest of the Lowe's entourage. Wonderful scenes here.
Yeah, really wonderful. I've had the pleasure of spending some time this winter with the Lowe's brothers out training, and obviously with Corinne, with the help, with the Monster sponsorship for Chloe. I've spent some time with them. I've seen what they do. I've seen how much work they put into it and how they're dedicated they are and how serious they are about their job. And it's just so nice just to see in life that the more you put in, the more you get out. And Axel Bassani and Alex Lowe's, they deserve that result. But once again, Nicolo Bulliger, he looked pretty comfortable. He had a bit of a steady start there. I don't know whether that was intentional because of the softer tyre in that Superpole race. He was just tactically taking it a bit steadier. But once he got to the front, even with the raindrops on the visor, there was no one to touch him.
I think this is an important moment as well to highlight the achievements of Alex Lowe's in that team, James, because he came in when it was very much Jonathan Ray's team. He worked very hard and continues to do so to gel the 2 sides of the garage. They always used to operate as 2 different teams, didn't they? It was always Sykes versus Ray and Dwinker versus Reba. But let's have a look what happened coming into the last lap to Miguel Oliveira. At this point, he lines up Danilo Petrucci and takes that all-important 9th place. And what goes wrong? Let's listen in. This is the move, but he's about to hit trouble on this BMW. Let's see if we can find out by listening and watching. There we go. That's Stoner Corner, just a few 100 metres further down the road. We said he had a problem, so you reckon it might be fuel?
Well, it could be anything, Greg. It could be fuel, because obviously you're judging the fuel to just have enough for this Superpole race. It won't be a full fuel tank, so you can save some weight on the bike so it handles a bit better. But I can't imagine the BMW team. Is it a gear shift problem? He's looking down at the left-hand side, so that could be a gear shift issue. As soon as you look down at your left-hand side or on your left with your foot, that's usually the case. So was he stuck in one gear? He couldn't change the gear possibly, but that's really unfortunate. Andrew Pitt will obviously be looking at that to try and get it rectified for race 2 later on.
Yeah, but he definitely opened the visor and looked straight down, didn't he, at that left-hand side as he jumped off the bike. What a shame for Oliveira. That really is harsh. Fighting up from the back. It only took him a handful of laps to get up into the top 9. It was a splendid ride, as Alex Lowe's briefly will come across to discuss the story of the race that led him to his first podium of 2026 and the 51st of his World Superbike career. Alex, extremely experienced now. That was his 356th race start. He will be delighted. He's been absolutely instrumental in the success of this Bimotor by Kawasaki team as the raindrops continue to fall here in Australia. Well done, Alex.
Alex, first podium of the campaign, 2 Bimotors on the rostrum. Great way to start the final day of the Australian round.
Yeah, it's not been Australian weather, but today was a bit more, how I normally feel in Australia, because yesterday I just seemed to go backwards in the race. I didn't feel very good at all, but today I really enjoyed it. Had a battle with my brother for a little bit, and that was nice, and then, managed to feel quite good at the end. We made some massive changes to the bike overnight, so I was trying to understand how to ride the best I could. The bike was great, and really happy to have this podium, and fantastic for Axel as well. He really deserves his first podium with our team. He's been riding fantastic, and I'm really proud of the guys, and enjoy it, mate. So well done.
Great job. Well
Cheers.
Done.
Thank you.
Lovely words there from Alex. And indeed, you've got to go back to the Lowe's Jonathan Ray days, to the last time they had a double podium in that team, James. But that, of course, was in Kawasaki Green. This is massive for the Kawasaki parent company. This is massive for Pierluigi Marconi and everyone at Bimotor. They're only a very small company, small but very exotic Italian motorcycles based outside Rimini on the road to San Marino, down there on the Adriatic coast of Italy.
It's one of their worst weekends last last year when this bike first came on the scene. So this is really encouraging for the rest of the season. If it can be this strong around this track, which was a bit of an Achilles heel, what can it do in the future? And it just wasn't one on the podium, like Alex said. It's two. And it's the very first podium for the young Italian, Axel Bissani.
Axel, your first podium on the Bimotor. Talk us through that race and how it feels.
Yeah, it's been really funny racing, especially in the start, the first 3-4 laps. There was a little bit of chaos, also especially for a little bit of rain, but yeah, it's been really good. When I had the possibility to stay in the back of Nicolas, I thought now is the moment to push, because I know it was possible to put a little bit of gap from the ride on the back, and yeah, we did it. I'm really happy, especially because also Alex is in the podium with me, so both bikes are on podium. I think it's the perfect race.
Great job, well done.
Thank you. Bye.
Axel adds himself to an esteemed list of riders who have scored podiums in the first 39 years of World Superbikes for Bimotor. A few replays of his race. This is passing Italian compatriot Jari Montella's Ducati down into the Miller hairpin, and celebrations with his teammates. But the other 6 riders to have scored podiums for Bimotor, obviously Alex Lowes is one of them. Davide Tardozzi, Stefan Merton, Giancarlo Falappa, Mike Baldwin, the American, and of course Anthony Gobert, whose sole Bimotor podium was that memorable victory here in the year 2000 when he stayed out on slick tyres in horrendous weather conditions. It was a race that featured wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry all the way through. This man though, Nicolo Buliga, 2 out of 2, maximum points so far in 2026 for the Ducati rider.
Nicolo, it was a tough start to the race, but same end result as yesterday, P1 and pole position for race 2.
Yeah, very good result, another one. Was a bit more difficult because the first laps with these little drops of rain was not very easy to take confidence, but after some laps I start to ride better, and then I won also this race, and I'm really happy.
Great job, well done.
Thank you.
And for those who like the stats, this is a big one, James, because he's just equalled Marco Melandri. So in terms of race victories, not titles, but in terms of victories, Buliga now equal most successful Italian rider in World Superbikes, and he's poised to go one better later on. Melandri and Buliga now up there on equal wins for Italy, 22 apiece.
Wow, Marco Melandri, he won on 4 different manufacturers. He got the record, didn't he, for that accolade with the Italian. And it's one Italian as well, equaling him with Nicolo Buliga. But around here, he's absolutely untouchable. There's certain tracks and certain riders that gel with each other, and that was the late move, wasn't it, on Jari Montella at MG?
Is that hard but fair?
Yeah. I thought Jari was going to get his own back down because he can slipstream someone down the start and finish straight after MG, but he couldn't get anywhere near him, could he? The corner speed that Nicolo Buliga had, because we're on board with him. There's a confirmation on your right-hand side of the screen. Marco Melandri as the Italian rider with most wins. That is an absolutely amazing feat to equal, because, like I was saying, Marco Melandri, absolute legend.
Yes, and the number being 22. Max Biaggi, of course, the Roman Emperor. Actually, would you believe the only Italian, hard to believe that, isn't it? The only Italian who's won a Superbike title so far. I think that might be different by this time next year. But Biaggi, of course, did the honours with Aprilia in 2010 and then again in 2012. Good stuff from Alex Lowes there.
We can mention his favourite word again now.
Oh, go on.
Portmanteau.
Well, because of the Bimotor. I do, yeah. Go on. Well, you can tell us. You can tell us.
Well,
it's a very romantic
Mr.
sounding
Bianchi,
word.
Mr. Morris, and Mr. Tambourine.
So that's Bimotor.
And that's where Bimotor comes from. It's the first 2 letters of the 3 names that can... Oh, there it is, there. Enough of the portmanteau. Let's get Troy Bayliss on the screen. The triple world champion, World Superbike champion. Great to see him here, and it was a good day for him yesterday. I'll not spoil it for you, but a wonderful day for the Bayliss family yesterday.
Yeah, we had a chat with Troy last night, didn't he? And he was absolutely delighted. And,
still looking fit, isn't he?
He is. 6 times a World Superbike race winner here, but of course, it's more than that if you include his Australian Superbike wins, as you told me yesterday.
49 years old, Troy Bayliss won his last race in the Australian Superbike Championship, and that just shows you how good this guy was. It was 10 years after he retired. So
yeah.
10 years after you retire, you're still winning national Superbike races. That's how good that man was, and probably still is.
Yes. And he's doing well, isn't he, after that awful motocross crash he had last year, James? That was horrendous.
Yeah, it really was. He was really hurt with that. But there you go. They're the trophies for the Superpole race here in the opening round of Phillip Island. Nicola Bolliger from Axel Bassani and Alex Lowe's.
Thanks for your company then for this one. We'll be back in a few hours' time, 2 hours and 15 to be precise, for all the action from race 2. Join us again then for more racing action. Just a reminder, if you want to follow the testing of MotoGP, that's live now on JB Sports Extra. That's getting ready to go green. We'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.